Friends, it's May 31st, and I woke up in the morning. I just dropped my children off, and we're about to launch the fellowship. And then I look up at the top of the mountain, and I see now that our house of prayer, literally the last bricks of the outside are being laid on the roof now. And I can't help but feel as though that is some sort of divine communication, that the structure on the outside of the house of prayer is all ready, as we're now building a virtual house of prayer for all nations in the spirit around the world. The physical has manifested itself in the most amazing timing. So I just wanted to share that with you, that something marvelous is going on, and all of us really have the privilege to be a part of it. And it's manifesting here in the heart of Judea.
The first thing that we should write in this fellowship is this new concept called a spice cart. A spice cart. That is fundamental, and it's how we're going to begin to look at reality. The Torah teaches us that Joseph, when he was sold down into Egypt, he was the righteous among the brothers. He was the one being given dreams, being guided by God. He was already chosen by Jacob, and all of a sudden he was betrayed. Betrayed by his family, betrayed by his loved ones, thrown into a pit and sold off into slavery. Now, you can imagine that that was pretty devastating for a man that felt like God was guiding him towards his destiny, and all of a sudden being ripped away from his family, betrayed by his family, he was in the pits of despair. And all of a sudden, the Torah teaches us that on the way down to Egypt, he was sold on a spice cart. Now, the Torah doesn't mince words. It doesn't waste words. Every single letter in the Torah, every single word in the Torah is there for a purpose. And the Jewish people for the last 3,000 some odd years have literally just gone into every single word trying to figure out, why does the Torah go out of its way to talk about a spice cart? What do I care if a camel took him down to Egypt, or a horse took him down to Egypt, or a spice cart took him down to Egypt? He's going down to Egypt. Why is the Torah telling us this? So the Midrash brought by Rashi tells us this fundamental teaching that is meant to guide us in our own lives. Joseph knew that on that route, most of the times, caravans of sulfur would go all the way down to Egypt. Now, for those of you that have visited the Dead Sea and you smell the sulfur, it smells pretty wretched. It smells pretty terrible. And all of a sudden, Joseph is put in the back of this, what should be a sulfur cart, where he would just be miserable the entire way down to Egypt. And all of a sudden, he's surrounded by these beautiful aromas in a spice cart. And then Joseph at that moment realizes, wait a minute, something here is out of the ordinary. Something here is like, wait a minute, I'm being communicated to right now. Something here is a spice cart, a signature of God that's in my life that did not need to be there. It did not have to happen that way. It's happening right now in this way in order to teach me, to guide me that, wait a minute, life is not just chaotic. Things are not just happening. Wait a minute, I'm being guided. And here God is sending me a little gift. He hasn't revealed himself in the most marvelous revelation to take away my free will. No, I can still choose to be an idiot, and I can still go and waste time on YouTube and Facebook, but he's given me enough to open my eyes that I'm living a guided life. He sends us spice carts. And let me tell you, walking outside, totally unplanned. I didn't even know the workers were finishing the roof today. I thought that they were working on a project down below where the vineyards are. And I see them, I didn't tell them to do that. I'm walking outside, I'm like, they're finishing the outside of our house of prayer? That's just a giant spice cart. That is the ultimate spice cart. We're building a virtual house of prayer for all nations, and our physical house of prayer for all nations has just been completed on the outside. Now we're going to put the floors, we're going to put the windows, but like the actual structure is done. That, my friends, is our first spice cart that we've all experienced together. A signature of God that he is saying, I want you to know, this is not just a virtual reality that's happening on Zoom around the world. There is a very physical manifestation that's happening in the mountains of Judea. And when you build something in Israel, you're literally building something, you're making a mark in the history of Israel. You're making a mark on the land it's tapping into Netzach Israel, into the eternity of Israel.